Hi everyone, this is my pool plan in DFFOO Global in early August 2021, and specifically this video will be covering events and banners where Cloud of Darkness will be featured as a synergy unit. And the events are also represented in the infographic on the left hand side of the slide, which will be the upcoming Divine Brothers, Gladiolus' Lost Chapter, and the debut of Queen. I will also be including a timestamp in the video description that you can use to skip ahead to the section that you are interested in. As always, some quick disclaimers before I head into the banners. This is my own personal plan based on my currently available roster of characters and my current playstyle. It may or may not be ideal for you or anyone else, and I always highly recommend to do your own research and look at what other people are saying about the upcoming characters so that you can make an informed decision on whether or not to pull for certain characters. There's always many factors that should be considered when deciding to pull, and this can include your current resources in terms of gems and tickets, who you have built up in your current roster, what content you need to clear, and of course who your favorite characters are. With that said, let's head into the first event. Now before heading into the banners, I have to mention about Corleonis, which was a recently released global first character in the game. And I went hard for Core. I actually invested gems pulling for his entire kit, and I have even invested high armor ingots and have fully maxed out his high armor to the blue level as well. And I plan to be using him heavily in the next few Lufenia fights. This is a very important thing to mention because having Core now actually changed my pool plan in the upcoming banners quite a bit. And I'll explain that as we go through the next few banners. Alright, so Divine Brothers will be coming up first, and it will feature the release of Cloud of Darkness LD and BT weapons, as well as a rerun of Gebrand's LD weapon. So first of all, on Gebrand's banner, I plan to skip that banner because I already have Gebrand's LD and have him fully built out, so there's really nothing much I want from the second banner at the bottom. As for Cloud of Darkness, initially I was planning to spend gems for her, and if I don't get her BT weapon by the time I scored her LD weapon, I would have tokened her BT weapon. However, with Core now being released, my plans have changed. So for Cloud of Darkness, I now plan to use tickets until I score her LD, and if I don't get her BT weapon by the time I score her LD, I will probably just save my BT tokens for Tidus. Now the reason for that is not because Cloud of Darkness is an inferior unit to Core, and I really don't want anyone to get that impression. Their off-turn damage has very distinct mechanics or very distinct differences that I don't think it's fair to actually compare the two. But the main reason why I am not going as hard for Cloud of Darkness now is that I want to actually save my BT tokens for Tidus. Unfortunately, I only have enough BT tokens to redeem one BT weapon, and Tidus being a turn hogger and him having will have received his rework after Cloud of Darkness, I am hoping to playtest the combination of Core and Tidus very heavily. So for that reason, I want to save my BT tokens for Tidus in case I'm not able to pull for his BT. And so for that reason, I have to make sacrifices here for Cloud of Darkness. And that is the main reason why I have changed my plan and will now use tickets to score her LD. I already have all her other weapons fully maxed out. The next event after that will be Gladiolus' Lost Chapters, and since I already have all of Gladiolus' gear, I plan to skip this banner. I don't have any interest in subbing. he's actually quite a decent unit upon the release of his LD weapon. But the reason why I'm skipping is I'm actually trying to save my resources now, mainly because I've invested quite a lot, considering also that I spent quite a lot on Core's banner in getting all his gear. So this represents an event where I can start saving my resources again, and I also feel quite comfortable with my current roster of magic DPS characters anyway. So for that reason, I don't see a need for subbing in my own roster. Alright, next up we have Queen's event. And Queen, to me, when I look at her kit, I haven't had experience with Queen because I don't play the JP version of the game. But her kit strikes me as sort of like a jack of all trades, master of none. She does have potential to do very high DPS, but again, at this stage, I'm not really after DPS characters anyway. And although she does have other utility built into her kit, I don't feel the allure of her kit, or I don't see the need for her in my current roster. And getting another opportunity to save some more after Gladiolus' Lost Chapters is very welcome for me. So Gladiolus and Cloud of Darkness will be synergy units for this event as well. So I feel fairly comfortable with the Chaos Challenge quest, and I will be able to use Gladiolus, Cloud of Darkness, and either Friend or Cater to complete the Chaos Challenge quest. So I feel very comfortable giving this event a skip as well. Alright, so on this slide, I'll be giving my opinion on which characters to aim for if you are relatively low on gems, tickets, or ingots to max certain characters out. And quick disclaimer here that this is really based on my opinion, and the disclaimer I think at the top really hits the nail on the head that you should always factor in what roles you need more in your roster. None of the characters here are bad. It's just that in terms of relative sense, I tend to rank certain characters higher than others based on the perceived value that I feel we could get out of them in the near future. Right, so based on that reason alone, in this arc, I think Cloud of Darkness will be my recommended character. If you can only fully invest one, I think she is the one to go for, because she does very well in her own arc. So at the very least, her being synergy across these 2 weeks already provides decent value. More than that, if you can score her LD and BT, and if say for example for any reason if you did not get core, Cloud of Darkness actually has very good follow-up attack mechanics similar to Noctis's BT if you manage to score her BT weapon. And she can actually pair very nicely again with characters who hogs turns such as Terra or Lightning. So for that reason, I highly recommend Cloud of Darkness as the main character to aim for this arc. Gladiolus, I put him as a role fulfillment, meaning that if you don't have any tank characters, then he's actually a very good pickup. But he's not listed under recommended only for one reason, and that's because Warrior of Light is still up and available in the triple LD BT weapon, and Warrior of Light to me is a very capable tank at this stage of the game. So if you really need a tank, my opinion is that you should try to invest some resources in the triple LD BT banner because it is a very value adding banner. And if you squad Warrior of Light as a tank, I think there's less need for Gladiolus as well. Queen, I put her there as role fulfillment as well. I think Queen holds a lot of value, especially if you don't have a wide variety of characters in your roster. And she still fulfills very nicely in as a DPS character anyway. So overall, I think she is quite a decent pickup. But again, to me, I'm not really aiming for her, at least mainly because I feel very comfortable with the current characters I have in my roster. Sabine and Gebran, I put them as consolation prizes. Make no mistake, they are Lufenia viable, but if you look at what they can do, I put them as consolation prizes because at this stage of the game, there's many other characters who can fulfill their roles in battle, and it's very likely that at this point you already have these characters as well. So there's really not a lot of reason to chase after them specifically unless they are your personal favorites. And so I view them as sort of like, if you can get their kit as you're pulling for the other characters, then it's a good bonus or icing on top of the cake. But if not, I don't think that you'll be missing out a lot anyway, and you should be able to get by with other characters in your roster. So that's it for this video. Long story short is that I will be using tickets mainly to score for Cloud of Darkness's LD weapon, and beyond that banner, I will be skipping every other banner this arc. It may seem like a very conservative approach, but if you look ahead to the next few banners after Cloud of Darkness arc, I see a lot of banners in Tidus and Yuna's arc coming up after this that I really want to pull for, and so this is the opportunity for me to start saving resources for the weeks after that. I will be investing quite a lot of resources in pulling for certain characters and weapons. So I think for me this makes a lot of sense. As always, if you enjoy the content, do hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.